That's better. Okay, you speak, I listen. You want a response? You got it, brother. The opening with the pause, not a
Here's
flattering
what
photo.
these truthers and socialists and anarchists and libertarians, Republicans, Democrats, off the grid people, if you have a name for your group. Here's what you do know. Here is the truth. 9/11 was an inside job.
It's a great insinuation, but I can't prove it. I know the evidence that I have at hand. I know what I think, but I need more evidence. I need things that no longer exist, and I'd like to talk to people that I'd most likely say are dead. Whatever the case may be, there, I don't have enough evidence. I know what I saw. I know what I'm seeing. I know what I'm looking at. I know the free fall. It doesn't take a major reschooling, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. But I myself still need just a little bit more evidence, a little bit of forensic evidence, something tangible, and I know it exists. We got to find it.
We know it was because we have eyes. We are not stupid. We saw the buildings fall.
Yep. Building
But
7, 2 planes, 3
you
buildings,
did
amazing.
nothing. See, that's truth. You did nothing. There is a train that is coming down the track, and I can see that train.
Me too. Me too.
And that was 9/11. I saw it. And yet, I did nothing. You did nothing.
We did nothing because we as a nation were shocked. This was our own Pearl Harbor. We thought that's what they spoon fed us anyway. But we thought it was our own generational Pearl Harbor. And it was time for us to raise as a nation. But suddenly it became an information war of secrets, and everyone was falling over each other in order to try to proclaim some great truth, and all they could come up with was this Osama bin Laden character who had already been on the CIA payroll, and they tried to portray him as an un-American. He's probably more American than most Americans. He's born to the family of multimillionaires. He never wanted for anything as a child, not like the people around him or the people they proclaim that he's trying to lead. They exist because the CIA created them, and that's the bottom line. And we find that out later. But of course, I knew that early because I watched the stuff in Afghanistan, the Iran Contra, the Iran Contra deals. There's been too much information.
The bailout.
It's a
You
joke.
told them no, didn't you? Did they do it? Did they listen to you?
No, and they
No.
said that too. One of the congressmen happened to mention that thousands of people had been crowding up his board, his phone calls all day. Sorry. And he still voted for it. So, no, they're not listening. And the moment you hear that, that's when you ask for their resignation. Americans mostly were terrified, and that's the virus we're stuck with right now.
I made the phone calls,
Me too.
several phone calls.
Me too.
Now I can feel the vibrations of the train rolling down the track. I see it, and I can feel that vibration.
Me too.
How much more truth do I need to have? How much more truth do I need to seek out here? How much more truth do you need? Truth about what? You can see the train. You can feel the vibrations on the track. You're standing on the track. And you need more? 20,000 troops coming back home. It's in the paper.
To police the
Now,
streets
not
of
only
America.
can you see the train, not only can you feel the train, but now you can hear the train.
Yeah, it's called conditioning. They
And
give you the
yet,
sound bite, the 30-second sound bite, so that your mind starts to adjust to it.
did you do something?
Yeah, I did a video.
No. You talk about doing something. Makes you feel good, like you are accomplishing something.
I like to think so, just like you do, or you wouldn't be trying
Did
to
you
make
do
us aware.
something? No. And that's the truth. And that's what we're supposed to be about, right? The truth.
Hmm.
Trains are coming down the track, and yet you stand on the track.
Yep.
People will look at me and say, "Well, you're standing on the track."
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. I'm standing on the track. Difference is I know that train's coming, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, so that I can get out of the way of you, because you aren't going to help anybody do anything, because you have too many excuses of why you can't do it. You want to. I
I
want
have
to,
no excuses.
but I can't. I gotta work. I can't. Football. I can't. Gotta go drinking. I can't. Can't do it. The problem with the system
Is that if you
is
stop,
you.
no, the problem with the
That's the
system
problem.
is that if you stop, you fall behind in your money and your earnings and your ability to pay your bills. So when you walk off to go march and you're arrested for 30, 60, 90, 120 days, when you're released, your apartment's out, the bank's foreclosed your home, your car has been towed. There's a lot of people who don't just own their own homes and park on private property. There are lots of people who want to change these things. That's why I'm saying it's up to us. If all of us move at the same time, the government will move with us. It takes
And
emotion.
that's why they're not afraid of you. And that's why you will do nothing.
Watch me.
Now, if I'm lying about what I just said, you go on and shoot me out a video telling me exactly where I'm lying. If this ain't truth, anybody is more than welcome to shoot a video towards me and tell me where I'm wrong. What are you doing? Nothing except complaining on the internet.
That's the one thing I've always prided myself on is not always sitting around complaining and trying to think it all the way through to a resolvable end. And yeah, I know what you're talking about there. Trying to bring information to people is hard because it's very time consuming, and by the time you find some obscure document that's attached to something else, you tend to find out that, wow, 6 hours have passed by. I've had to read this entire document in order to find these 5 or 6 sentences that I knew were there. I just had to find them and what paragraph they're in. You know, that's part of the fight, part of the struggle for the truth. Is it's always a struggle. You'd have to have a team of people reading books, binders, and leaves of paper in order to accomplish what you're doing. But you give me a day, brother. I mentioned Christmas Day passively if I felt like there were enough, but we can't really host a rally only because, oh well, I'm almost over here. Only because we don't have the permits. But the point is if everybody shows up and nobody leaves and we clog the streets and we clog the highways, suddenly the press is going to get scared because they're going to realize that someone wants to know the truth, or someone really does know the truth, or someone just wants to see this banking shit go away, or somebody else just wants to have their peace and their freedom. They want to be able to pick up their phone without thinking Big Brother is listening. No one wants to have RFID chips inserted into their skin. It isn't about killing. It's about freedom, liberty. It's about exactly the reverse of what they're trying to offer us through their terror and through their power. And if we think it through to its inevitable end, there's always a peaceful end, or that it will end and there will be peace. So peaceful resolve now, or war and peaceful resolve later. It's up to us. But I mentioned Christmas Day passively. Just curious if anyone else would be interested. And so far I found